Aputure just sent me out their brand new Amaran 200D to review, and I kinda broke it. Aputure just released 4 brand new lights that are geared towards making high quality single source LEDs more affordable and more accessible to content creators. There's the 100D, the 200D, the 100X, and the 200X. I've got the 200D here. The D stands for daylight, so it's a 5600 Kelvin light, just like the 100D, and then the 2X models are bicolor, so you can change the color temperature on them. They also released a brand new Light Dome SE, which is a cheaper version of their Light Dome 2 that doesn't have the quick release function for all of the rods. I would definitely recommend it if you don't set up and tear down your Light Dome often. It's also slightly shallower than their Light Dome 2, so it fits in smaller spaces. The 100D goes for $200 US, the 200D is $300 US, and then the X models are $50 more than their counterparts. Now, if you've ever gone shopping for lights like this, I just want you to let that soak in for a second because that's a fantastic deal. When comparing those prices to the Aputure 120D, which comes in at $750, or the 300D, which comes in at $1,100, this is pretty awesome. And while it is very exciting for me to have a budget-friendly option to recommend to those of you who are looking for lights on a budget, they definitely had to do a couple of things to make these more affordable than the other options. And as far as me breaking the 200D, that's going to be important in a little bit. So this is the package that you get the 200D in, and the light is directly inside there. Unlike the 120D Mark II or the 300D, it doesn't come with any kind of a fancy carrying case or anything like that. It's basically just the light, the power supply, inside a box with some foam to protect it. You can use this box as a carrying case if you want to keep it around, but it doesn't quite look as nice as the other ones that you get from the higher end models. Once you pull the light and the power supply out, you'll notice that there is no option here for battery. The 120D and 300D are capable of taking either V-mount or gold mount batteries. This one is plug-in power only. But it does come with a reasonably long cable, and I appreciated the little extra of it having a locking cable. And as far as the light output goes, the 100D definitely keeps up with the 120D, and the 200D actually is brighter than the 300D, which is absolutely insane to get that much light output for $300. When testing the 300D Mark II against the 200D, I noticed that the 200D doesn't really get down to 1% intensity. As soon as you click from 0 to 1%, it seems to blast at about what I would think of as like 15%. By the time that you're at 25%, they seem pretty even, and they stay pretty consistent all the way through 50, 75, and 100% brightness. I did notice that the 200D has a slightly greener tone to it, and it also has a narrower beam. This example is using the same reflector, the same distance from the background, and the 200D circle is still smaller, which may be where they're getting the extra brightness from. And the new lights actually have an advantage over the 120D Mark II in that they connect with Sidus Link, the app that Aputure makes. So you can control all of your lights right from the app. That being said, if you're like me and you're someone who likes to use the handy dandy old remote, you're out of luck on that one. The new lights don't work with this remote. The controls are super simple. There's an on and off switch, and then there's a knob to turn up and down the brightness. And if you click that knob in, it'll move in larger increments. On the X models, the ones that are bicolor, you actually have 2 knobs, one to control the color temperature and one to control the brightness. Now, back to me breaking the 200D. One of the big things that I noticed right when I got this thing out of the box is that it is not built the same way that the 120D Mark II and 300D Mark II are. There's a lot of plastic in the construction, although it does feel nice and hefty. The mount itself is metal, which is great, and there's a metal piece inside where you would mount it onto your light stand. So they've added reinforcement where it needs it. However, I wouldn't be throwing this thing around. I'd definitely take good care of it if you got it. But if you're somebody who's gentle on your gear, or it's going to be set up and not really moving around a whole bunch, it shouldn't be an issue. Where I ran into a problem was with the mount. When I first got it, about 20 seconds after I got it out of the box, I went to throw it up on a light stand and I started to tighten this up, and I tightened it too much, and the plastic on the outside right by the actual screw itself started to crack. Now, there is the metal piece on the inside, and that doesn't seem to be compromised at all. The light has functioned flawlessly for the last couple of weeks that I've had it. So had I been a little bit more careful with it, I don't think it would have been an issue. That being said, even though it looks like Thor's hammer, I'd probably be a little bit more careful with it. Now, there's one other thing that you definitely want to know, and this might be a deal breaker for some of you. Like I said, even after I broke it, I've still been using this for a couple of weeks now, and it's done an absolutely fantastic job. The quality is the same as I would expect from any Aputure light. It's got so much power, but the fan in this thing has a weird electrical whirring sound going on with it. It doesn't sound like a nice soft hiss like you would expect from a small fan. It's got this other sound to it. And at first I thought it was maybe just mine, and I hit up Aputure and I was like, what's up with this? And they're like, that seems weird, something's wrong there. And then a couple other people posted their reviews and they had the same thing only with the 200D model. It didn't seem to be happening on the 100D. But just today I went over to Curtis Judd's review again because he had mentioned this. In the comments, he mentioned that he talked to Aputure and they said that they were gonna have a firmware update that should fix the noise. That being said, I've filmed a bunch of stuff with this, and as long as I have my mic in good placement and this isn't too close to the microphone, it definitely didn't pick it up. But I could definitely hear it more in the room, and it was just a different type of sound than the other ones were. Hopefully we'll see that firmware update soon and it'll fix the noise for us. Guess you have to do it over Bluetooth, maybe? Overall, I'm very excited. I absolutely love my Aputure lights, both my 120D Mark II and my 300D Mark II, but it's really hard to recommend those to content creators who maybe don't have the bigger budgets. I'm so glad that Aputure decided to go with something that was made for content creators for a smaller budget crowd, and I'm excited to see what everyone's gonna do with these. One more small piece of business, in case you didn't catch it, I launched my Patreon last week. I'm super excited about the community that we're building over there. If that's something that you're into, it's an opportunity for you to get exclusive access, extra content, LUTs, presets, music, all sorts of stuff. So I'll leave a link to the Patreon as well as to all the new Aputure products down in the description. And as always, I want to hear from you. What do you think about the new Aputure lights? Leave a comment down below, and on your way down there, hit that like and subscribe button and the bell notification so you don't miss out on future reviews and tutorials. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Ah, shh.